Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Veronica and this is Veronica X Stitch. This is my Flosstube video number 48. Thanks for coming. It's been a while, it's been about 2 months, and I wanted to give you all a quick update because I've been doing some stitching, mostly though on just a handful of projects. So I have some progress to show, which is great. I've decided to try something a little bit different today, and instead of just like holding up my work, I'm gonna be like talking while I'm showing like a video or photos of what I've done. So let me know what you think, I guess, about that. So let's go ahead and get started. So today is August 4th, Sunday, 2024. And on Thursday this week, I'm gonna be heading over to Allentown, Pennsylvania to go to the Grace Notes retreat. I'm super looking forward to seeing Nikki, Kathy, Corinne, and anyone else I might have met at the Queen City Stitch retreat last October. And if you're going to be there, please let me know, give me a comment, look for me. This will be my first time at the Grace Notes retreat, and I'm kind of nervous, kind of excited, but looking forward to getting some stitching in and meeting some other stitchers, hanging out with people, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get started with the stitching, shall we? So the first thing that I worked on, I have this one here, but I'm still going to try to show you pictures because I think you can see it so much better. But this is 12 Days of Christmas by Teresa Wentzler. This is available. This is where I bought it on patternsonline.com. And I started, or didn't really start, I had the border done for day 4, but I finished off day 4 and I used Pattern Keeper for this. I found a tutorial on how to take an Excel spreadsheet and print it to PDF and then make it work for Pattern Keeper. So I did that. I manually kind of recreated the chart. So the middle part is on these pieces is all done over 1. By the way, this is all in 28 count Monaco. So the bird is done all over 1, and yeah, so I have the first, second, third, and fourth days all finished. I haven't started on the 5th day yet, but this was fun to do, and Pattern Keeper made it like way more fun and fast, although it did take me like a few hours to get it to that point. So I might try using like, I don't know, maybe purchasing cross-stitch software in the future, just because it's so nice to, especially when you have like I wouldn't call this full coverage, but it's like it's not block stitching by any means. It's Teresa Wentzler, so you have like dithering, and there's no blends because it's 1 over 1, so she didn't do that, but the border has blends in it, and it's so it's just not a simple pattern. And I know when I've stitched this off of paper in the past, it's really easy to just like, you think you get all the stitches for one color and then you miss one, you have to pull it out again, and it's really, it makes it slower basically. I personally prefer to do like a cross-country sort of style, sometimes in like small areas. I don't like to, I know some people will do something which I think is pretty fancy, where they'll like, do like 1 stitch at a time in a row, regardless of the color, and they'll do parking. I don't do parking. I just don't like it. I've tried it, and I find it incredibly annoying to have the threads hanging there, and they always get in the way, and I get confused too, like, oh, did I really park this color in the right place? Is this the right color? And I'll question myself and second guess myself. So I decided to stop parking and just finish off the thread, and that means more cross-country style like stitching. So anyway, that was 12 Days of Christmas. Next thing I worked on, I have here with me, so I'm going to show you. This is Queen of Freedom by Mirabilia. I worked on this a little bit, I think, since last time. I could be wrong, but I'll show, you'll be seeing pictures of the before and after. This is an out of print design, unfortunately, so it's not easy to find. You can find it in the secondary market, but she's not too cheap. I'm stitching this on 32 count Lugana in We the People printed fabric. Doing everything as called for, except I did the skin 1 over 1 with slightly different, they were the called for colors, but I kind of upped it a notch in terms of the darkness and depth of her, or to I felt like she was too pale, and I wanted to make her a little bit like darker, deeper skin tone. So that was the really only change that I made. And as you can tell, I'm getting kind of close to finishing the regular stitching. I haven't done any of the beading yet. I am stitching most of the, doing most of the back stitching as I go though. So that's where she is at. I'm probably going to bring her on to the retreat, just because it's fun to show off projects that are further along, I feel like, and they tend to get a lot of like attention and questions, and I go and talk to people too, and I'd love to see what they've been stitching on. At this retreat, I'm going to the brag table they're going to have is only for pieces completed on Grace Notes fabric, and I don't have any projects that I've completed on Grace Notes fabric yet, so I don't have anything for the brag table, but I'm still super excited to see it. I do love their fabric. So the next thing I want to show you is kind of like a small thing that I took on a small trip that we did, and I've been sort of working on this. This is Blue Morpho Butterfly Mill Hill Buttons and Beads Kit. It's nice, the Mill Hill kits are nice because you can, you don't need to put them in a frame, although I know a lot of people are using this new like magnetic frame for these, the perforated paper. It kind of holds it good, but I don't have a problem with just holding the perforated paper. Maybe I haven't stitched on one long enough to where it starts to fold and get kind of floppy, I guess. But anyway, here's where I'm at, and this is compared to last time as well. I got a little bit done, as you can tell, not a whole heck of a lot, but I've just been working a little bit more on the butterfly. And it's fun to stitch. It's really nice. It has a few beads in it too, and I'm going to leave those until the end. But yeah, I do love these Mill Hill kits. They're really nice, and they have everything you need, so like a kit should. Next up, I don't have, I have a printout of it, but it's much better if I just show you the image. So this is the Accolade charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. The artist is Edmund Layton. It's in the Arts of the Antiquities section. I completed page 18. Oh, by the way, I'm stitching this on 28 count Jobelin, 1/1 full cross. And this page, so I'm also using Pattern Keeper, and I grid with a washable fabric pen. So I kind of messed that up a few times and had to regrid because I miscounted. So this was I don't know why I struggled with this page. I try to do like one page at a time cross country. And it was so slow for me. There were some days when I got like, 100, 200 stitches tops. And I love using like Pattern Keeper because I feel like I can stitch a lot more. And I love that it counts it for you too, whereas I don't count my stitches normally. But this time, I think it's because mostly in her hair was a lot of color changing, and the dress is white, and I was stitching it on white, so it was really hard to see where I had stitched and where I hadn't. So if I'm trying to find my place from between the pattern and the fabric, I had a really difficult time. I had to use glasses, a lot of light and magnification all at the same time, and just work it really slowly because it's like white on white and multiple shades of white. So once honestly, it was just the 3865 is the majority of the color in there, and that almost perfectly matched the fabric. So that was a challenge. But I do like the way it's coming out, and we're starting to get more foreground. This is like the farthest I've ever gotten on a Heaven and Earth Designs. By the way, I'm like 27%-ish done with this one. And I don't know if this is true of all of them or if other full coverage people do this too, but like what I've noticed is that the background, I think they make a point to not make the background be confetti, so it'll go by fast because it's not as fun to stitch. Because in this, all of the background is like block colors, even though it's blotchy and kind of ugly colors. I don't know, they're pretty, I guess. It's just like deep reds and supposed to be like velvet curtains or something. but it's blocky, or bulks of colors, you know, like, but when I get to like her hair or her face, there's almost like a point where you get to the edge of the foreground and all of a sudden it's one off stitched here, there, you know, confetti, as you imagine. So I'm guessing that cross stitch software, when it takes an image, it's all going to be confetti. There's very rare block colors, and that the designer, Heaven and Earth Designs in this case, takes care to say, okay, this is background, so smooth it out a bit or something. That's really just a guess. That's sort of my theory, but I've definitely noticed a huge difference in background versus foreground in this piece. And I enjoy stitching on this. Since it's public domain, there are a lot of design companies that have charted this piece, and I know some are different, like Golden Kite has done it. I'm pretty sure you can get it from a lot of others, and they all do look a little different. The full artwork has more to it. This is cropped, which I don't care, but I just like the art. I think it's really cool. And so last but not least, I worked on Amphitrite, which I think I can say now, by Philipina. And I kind of stitched on her a little bit, working. So I worked on this for my Stitch Mania starts, spent about a week on her to make her face appear and her hair, which was so cool. I'm glad I did that, because now it's like, oh, I really want to stitch on her. So what I did this time is I worked my way to the top of the design, which is like the top of the shell there, and then made it so that I could kind of work down. Now this part of it is all like blocked colors. It was kind of nice to go back to this after the full coverage confetti, and did a lot of the white coming down. So then I just need to fill in other colors, and this will be a nice one to take to the retreat too, because of that block stitching. Just to kind of fill in areas, you know, like, you know, color in the lines and not really have to think too much, because at a retreat you're like talking to a lot of other people. I forgot to say, this is on Color and Cotton Sea Glass 28 count linen. I'm stitching everything as called for here, just, you know, even the skin I'm doing 2/2, all of the called for colors and everything. It calls for a lot of like fancy flosses. She was not cheap to kit up. But I do love this piece. I love the, you know, I'll hold it up again. It's got a lot of cool things in it. You know, a lot of creatures and stuff. So, the last thing that I wish to show you today is a previous finish that I had. I got back from the framers. This is Glory in the Morning by Crosswing Collection. Stitched on, I think it's 28 count linen in a custom hand-painted fabric that Crosswing Collection makes for this piece. I still have it kind of in the plastic. I'm going to give this to my parents, but I still have it in the plastic because I'm debating entering it in for judging. I've never done that before, but I kind of want to see, because I did take a lot of care when I was stitching this to make sure each of my X's looked neat, and I kind of want to get some feedback on it to see if I actually would have like a chance at like fairs and stuff like that. So there's a needlework guild near me, and they do a show every September, and it costs like $5. I'm not a member of the guild, but if you are, I don't think you have to pay for judging, or anyone can enter stuff to be like just showing off. But I think I might pay the $5 just to get some feedback on it and see if it might be worth trying to do things like that for fairs. I know a lot of people do, and some people don't care. And typically I haven't cared, but at the same time, I just love the way my stitching looks when I do take great care. Now, I still don't railroad, which is like when you put the needle between the two threads. But I will like undo and restitch things if it gets twisted, or if I don't like the way it looks. And I try to, you know, do more of a continental type where you're like pulling against the direction, which uses more thread, but it looks neater because then you're not like, you know, splitting it with other stitches or pushing it up when you're pulling up, coming up into where other things are stitched already. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you at all. If it does, great. If not, sorry. But anyway, that's all I have for now. Again, if you're going to be at the Grace Notes retreat, please let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.